Hello everyone. Help me reach 1,000 subscribers. Please support this incredible story by hitting the like button and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. I personally read every single comment, and your feedback truly means everything to me. Thank you so much for being part of this journey. It was Thursday evening when everything crystallized. I sat across from Sarah at our dinner table, watching her scroll through social media while her food grew cold. The silence stretched between us like a chasm that had been widening for months. "How was your day?" I asked, genuinely wanting to connect. "Fine," she replied without looking up, her thumbs dancing across the screen. This had become our routine. I'd come home from 10-hour workdays, hoping to find the woman I married, only to discover a stranger who treated our house like a hotel and me like an inconvenience. That night, I tried once more to bridge the gap. I reached across the table, touched her hand gently. "Maybe we could talk. Really talk." She pulled away, still staring at her phone. "I'm busy right now." Those 4 words hit harder than any argument. Not angry, not emotional, just dismissive, like I was interrupting something important, when all I wanted was 5 minutes of her attention. I remember sitting there, feeling invisible in my own home. This wasn't the woman who used to light up when I walked through the door. Sarah had become someone who saw me as nothing more than the person who paid the bills while she lived her separate life. That night, lying alone in our bed while she stayed up watching television, I realized something had fundamentally shifted. Love requires 2 people, but I'd been carrying this relationship alone for too long. The next morning brought clarity I hadn't expected. As I prepared breakfast, Sarah appeared in the kitchen, suddenly animated for the first time in weeks. "Good morning, honey. Listen, I need about $200 for some things today." The contrast was jarring. Yesterday, she couldn't spare 5 minutes for conversation. Today, she needed my wallet. "What kind of things?" I asked. She waved her hand dismissively. "Just stuff. Necessities." But I knew better. The necessities were usually designer handbags or expensive lunches with friends, luxuries funded by my overtime hours while she contributed nothing to our household. I set down my coffee cup and looked at her directly. "Sarah, get a job." Her face changed instantly. The sweet smile vanished, replaced by shock, then anger. "Excuse me?" "You heard me. You want money? Earn it." She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. For years, I'd handed over cash without question, believing that was what good husbands did. I'd enabled a system where she took everything and gave nothing back. "You're being ridiculous," she snapped. "I shouldn't have to work when my husband can provide." "Providing goes both ways," I replied calmly. "What exactly do you provide?" She had no answer, because we both knew the truth. Our marriage had become a one-way transaction, and I was tired of being the only one paying the price. Instead of fighting or pleading, I chose a different path: complete emotional withdrawal. If Sarah wanted to treat me like an ATM, I'd treat her like a stranger. I stopped asking about her day, stopped complimenting her appearance, stopped engaging in conversations that went nowhere. When she showed me her new purchases, I'd glance up briefly and return to whatever I was doing. The change was immediate. Sarah thrived on attention, mine specifically. She was used to being the center of my world, even while pushing me to the edges of hers. "You're being weird," she said one evening. "Why are you so distant?" "I'm giving you exactly what you've been giving me," I replied without emotion. She tried various tactics. Guilt trips about how I'd changed, attempts at physical affection that felt forced and calculated. Even tears, though they seemed more about losing control than losing me. But I'd discovered something powerful: indifference. It wasn't cruel, it was protective. I was finally shielding myself from someone who had been taking my emotional generosity for granted. Within weeks, the financial pressure mounted. Without my automatic funding, Sarah's lifestyle crumbled. No more shopping sprees, no more expensive outings. She was forced to face reality without her safety net. 3 months into my emotional strike, something unexpected happened. I started feeling genuinely happy again. I rediscovered hobbies I'd abandoned. made time for friends Sarah never liked, started exercising and taking care of myself. People noticed. Colleagues complimented my renewed energy. Old friends mentioned that I looked good. For the first time in years, I felt attractive, valuable, worthy of respect. That's when I met Emma at a work conference. She was intelligent, independent, genuinely interested in conversation. When she laughed at my jokes, it felt real. When she asked about my work, she actually listened to the answers. I wasn't looking for someone new, but Emma reminded me what mutual respect felt like, what it meant to be valued for who I was, not what I could provide. Sarah sensed the shift immediately. She became desperate, trying to reclaim attention she'd squandered for years. "I've been thinking we should spend more time together," she said one evening. "Where was this energy when I was begging for it?" I asked. Her face crumpled. "Please don't give up on us. I know I made mistakes. But some damage can't be undone. Sarah, you had years to show me I mattered. You chose not to. Now it's too late." The irony wasn't lost on me. The moment I stopped chasing her validation, stopped funding her lifestyle, stopped accepting scraps of affection, she suddenly wanted to fight for us. But I'd already fought that battle alone for too long. My silence wasn't punishment. It was protection. And through that protection, I'd rediscovered my worth. Some people learn too late that love without respect is worthless. Sarah learned it when I was already walking away, stronger and happier than I'd been in years. The only regret in this story belongs to someone who mistook patience for weakness and discovered her error when there was nothing left to save.